Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I would like to take this moment to thank you all so much for all the recent subscribers and for all the comments. I really do appreciate talking to every single one of you. Now, do not forget, oh my goodness, we just passed 300 subscribers, so that's crazy. I'm doing a giveaway for this X-Men number 221, the first appearance of Mrs. Sinister at 500 subscribers. So holy smokes, we're almost there actually, and I will be giving this away completely for free to one of you. I will make an own separate video on how you could win. In today's video, we have the top 10 hottest comics selling this week. So these are big increases in sales, and they could be comics to look out for. So I'm going to tell you guys if I think they're a buy right now or if I think you should just stay away from them because they've already hit their peak. Now, remember, guys, these are all just my opinions, so take it with a grain of salt and invest your money in what you guys want to be invested into and what you like and you enjoy. So don't listen to some guy on the internet just because he thinks something. But this is just my educated guess and my feelings on purchasing them or not. So without further ado, let's get into this one. First up, at number 10, we got Amazing Spider-Man number 121, The Death of Gwen Stacy. Now, this is like been a key issue for a long time, but it's one that I've always thought was kind of weird because it's like the death of somebody and that's a key, so that's a little weird to me. But we've seen some small increases in sales this week, which is still just baffling to me. So 5.0 last sold in June for $525, and that's up 5% this week, now going for $550, so a little bit of an increase. Then we had a 4.5 last sell in December for $479, that's up 2%, going for $490. So again, showing a trend of increasing. And then we also had a 3.0 back in October sell for $300, and again up 2%, now going for $305. So remaining at a good price, surprisingly, for a comic that to me just doesn't seem like something that should be continuing in value, but nonetheless, it's still an iconic comic, and it's one of those Amazing Spider-Mans that are just a key issue, so it's really hard to try to put Amazing Spider-Man comics down because people just want them really badly. So this one could continue to climb, so it's a maybe for me. It might be a good long-term investment. It might go up a lot in the long term, but I don't really see much happening in the way of them doing it, so who knows what this comic's going to do in the future. So I'm kind of staying away from it. That's just my opinion. Next up at number 9, we got Marvel Spotlight number 28, and this is actually the 30-cent issue, so it's a variant issue. But again, see an increase in sales, so that's why this one's on the list. We had a 5.5 with no previous sales, sell for $373. That's pretty good for a 5.5. And then we had a 7.0 last sell in 2020 for $350, and that's up 86% this week, now selling for $650. So that's a pretty good increase. And then we had a 9.8 last sell in February for $3,900, and that's already up 5%, going for $4,100. So a $200 increase is pretty good, but for it to stay that price and increase a little for a 9.8, that's actually showing a lot. And it's showing that people do have faith in this Moon Knight series. I think it seems like a good series so far. Only the future will tell with it, though, so I don't know how it's going to do, but I really like Moon Knight, and I think this could be a really good series. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I think it's good so far, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. And if you guys are liking this list and you guys like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe down below. I try to put stuff like this out every week, and I try to put comic book related news and things that I think you guys could be investing in for the future. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Next up at number 8, we got Tales to Astonish number 44. And this is the first appearance and origin of the Wasp. So this is a pretty cool issue, and it's something that's going to be increasing in value because of Ant-Man. So this could increase more in value. So it might be a good one to pick up. But we had a 0.5 last sell in 2019 for $280, and that's up 7%, going for $300 now. So 3-year investment only going up 7%. That's actually not very good, but it's still going up nonetheless. But it's still a 0.5, so it's really low grade. And then we had a 2.5 last sell in November for $700, and now that's up 20%, going for $840. So that's a good increase since November. So that's actually a really good increase, and kind of better sign that this. And then we had a 4.0 sell in December for $1,099. That's up 12%, now going for $1,236. So again, that's a pretty good increase in value in a short amount of time. So this comic could continue to rise. So something that I would keep on my radar. If you get a good deal, this is a great comic to own. Even if you don't, it's kind of showing that it's going to increase in value. So it's a good comic to own. So I would definitely pick it up if you can for a good price. At number 7 on the list, we got Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1, the newsstand edition of it. An 8.5 last sold in 2021 for $220, and that's up this week 173%, now going for $600. So that's a pretty good increase in sales. We had a 9.8 sell, which last sold in 2021 for $3,119, and that's up 28% this week, now going for $4,000. So that's a pretty good comic. And this is, again, one of those issues that it's newer, but it's black, so it's kind of hard to get in a high 9.8, but it's newer, so you're definitely going to still see them. But this is still a really cool comic. I feel like this is one that's always going to keep increasing in value over time. So I think it's worth investing in kind of for the long term. If you're trying to flip it quick, it's probably not a good comic to own. But for the long term, especially when more movies come out, it's definitely going to be a great comic to own. And then after, maybe it might die down a little, but I still think this is going to be a really expensive comic for a long time. Next up, at number 6 on the list, we got Doctor Strange #1. And of course, the Doctor Strange movie coming out soon, this is going to be increasing in value. This is the first solo title series of Doctor Strange, and it's also the first appearance of Silver Dagger. So it's got a few things going for it, and especially that cool cover with Doctor Strange on the cover. And we had a 7.0 last sell in September for $225, and that's already up 33%, going for $300. So again, another comic that's definitely on the rise here. Then we had an 8.5 last sell in December for $325, and that's up 15%, now going for $375. So this is definitely a comic that's increasing in value, especially with the movie right around the corner. This is going to be a comic that's definitely hot right now, and I think it's a cool issue to own, but I would wait off on buying it until this movie comes out, and then a little bit after that, maybe 2 or 3 months after that, when the hype has kind of died down. That's probably the best time to buy. Usually, sometimes these movies are weird with Marvel because they'll come out, yet the comic still increases in value, which is just insane to me. But it's still really cool because I love comics. So if things keep doing that, that's going to be really cool for the hobby and interesting to see where the future goes. Next up on the list at number 5, we got Nova #1. And I was so lucky to be able to pick up that 9.6 just before this news came out and just before that kind of just took off. So again, the big thing about this issue is it's the first appearance of Nova, and Nova is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we don't know if we're going to see a movie, if we're going to see a series, but either way, this comic is definitely a buy for me. It's going to just keep increasing in value when the movie comes out. I would wait a little bit right now. I'd wait a little bit until this hype dies down because people are hyping on this, but there are a lot of graded issues out there. So I would wait off on buying this, but definitely I would be buying it before any more news comes out or any trailer comes out, because that's when this comic's probably going to be worth the most, in my opinion. Again, these are all just my opinions, but I would definitely think that this is a good comic to own. We had a 7.5 last sell in December for $210, and that's up 5% this week, now going for $220. Not a huge increase, but definitely they're going to be increasing in value. Then we also had a 9.4 last sell last week for $499, and that's already up 15%, now going for $575. So again, you guys are definitely going to see those increases in sales, and they could keep jumping or they could come back a little bit. I'm not too sure. My guess is going to be that the value is going to come back a little because the market's going to get kind of flooded with people that have been waiting to sell theirs. That's going to be when it's going to be time to buy, when the market really gets flooded, because they're going to decrease in value a lot. Not a lot. They'll still be pretty up there. I think I got a good deal, really good deal on mine. So I don't think it'll ever go below that. Great comic to own. Definitely great one to hold on to for a while until that series or movie comes out or a trailer, because then that's going to be a really great one to own. Next up at number 4 on the list, we got Marvel Premiere number 28. And of course, this one's been on the list before. And this is just a great issue. This is the first team appearance and origin of the Legion of Monsters, like with Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Morbius, and Werewolf by Night. So a lot of people are speculating on this because, you know, we're starting to see these characters come, and it's just a cool issue. And yeah, so this is just a cool comic. I don't know if I ever really see them making a movie, so I can't see this one taking off crazy in price. But in the long term, it could be a great comic, because it could be one of the ones that people just want to invest in and just slowly goes up over time. But that's kind of just my opinion. It's not something that I'm currently looking for or looking at buying, but it's still a really cool comic. We had an 8.0, which last sold in August for $386, and that's actually up 9% this week, now going for $419. So that's a pretty good increase in value in a short amount of time, but again, nothing too crazy. But we had an 8.5 last sell in July for $400, and that's already at 50%, now going for $600. So that's a huge jump in price right there, and that's pretty cool. Then we had a 9.2 last sell in February for $740, and that's already up 8%, going for $800. So it's showing that this comic is starting to get some traction under, especially with Werewolf by Night coming. So I don't think we're going to see anything with this, but it's still just a cool issue to own. Who knows? I'm not buying on this one right now, but if a good price one came up and I could just hold on to it for the long term, I think I'd be buying this one because it's a cool comic. Next up at number 3 on the list, we got Fantastic Four number 2. Man, with the Fantastic Four coming, you're about to see a lot of Fantastic Fours on these lists, I feel like, because a lot of these comics I think are going to be taken off, and it's going to be really cool to see what does and what doesn't. But this is the first team appearance of the Skrulls, and it's also the second team appearance of the Fantastic Four. So that's a pretty cool issue, and Fantastic Four number 1 is a really expensive comic. This one, it's expensive, but it can be affordable in lower grades, but it's still a pretty expensive comic. So we had a 2.5 last sell in May for $2,025, and that's up 12%, now going for $2,266. So that's not by any means cheap, but it's still great seeing this comic come up in value. We also had a 5.5 last sell in 2021 for $4,211, and that's actually up 20% this week, now going for $5,040. That's a big sale. This is a big comic book, and it's really starting to gain some value. This is a huge one right here, though. We had a 6.0 last sell in May for $5,760. That's up 111% this week, now going for $12,100. Holy smokes. This is a great comic. If you guys can afford it, I would definitely be invested in this comic. It's a really great issue. It's not one that I'm looking to put that much money into right now, but if I had gotten a good deal on one, if I can find one, I would definitely hang on to this one until Fantastic Four come. Especially with the Skrulls already being here, this comic is just a great issue to own. It's definitely one that I would buy if I could afford it in the lower grade or higher grade. We're kind of seeing that the higher grade is increasing in value more, because I'm guessing it's harder to find them in higher grades, obviously, because it's a very old comic and a really cool issue. Next up at number 2, another comic that you guys have seen on my list before. We have Voltron number 1, the first appearance of Voltron in US Comics. I think this is a great issue to own right now because we're getting a live action adaptation of Voltron, but again, I would be leery of this one. I may invest in it, I may not, because I worry about the movie, because depending on how they do it, this could tank in value. But it's all going to depend on how they do on the movie, I feel like. But again, that's just my opinion. We'll see. If it's a really good movie, it could just stay high in value until after the movie. Obviously, then it's going to drop a little in value, or it's going to completely plummet. So this is one for the short term until a trailer or something gets released. I think it's a good one to own. However, I think the market might be a little high right now. Again, just like, other comics, when news gets released, it's going to be really high and then it's going to start to die down a little. I think this one might die down a good amount. But then's a good time to buy, and I would hold on to it until, any further news. But we had a 9.2 last sell last week for $153. That's already up 11%, going for $170. So it's probably definitely a comic that you're going to see do that for a little bit here, and then it might hopefully die off a little, and I might snag one then. But we had a 9.4 last sell last week again for $160. That's already up 56%, now going for $250. So definitely increasing in value. We had a 9.0 newsstand last sell in November for $95. That's up 44% this week, now going for $137. Again, I'm a newsstand person. I really like newsstand versions of things. I don't know if that's just me. I know a lot of you guys really don't like them, and that's totally okay. You guys can like whatever you like. But we also had a Canadian version sell back in 2020 for $131. That's up 91% this week, going for $250. That seems like a steal for me, because usually Canadian price variants go for a lot more on certain issues. So I'm surprised this one didn't go for like an extremely amount more. But this one might be a one that's going to be on the list a few times here, at least for the next couple weeks. But again, we'll see what it does. And no stranger on the list, but at number 1, we have Doctor Strange number 169. This is the first solo title Doctor Strange issue. So it's not like his first solo series. It just changed over from Strange Tales to Doctor Strange. But again, this one's up because Doctor Strange is coming, so it's hard to tell what this comic's going to do after it, but I still think this is another great issue, and Doctor Strange anything is just great comic to own, and I think we're going to see Benedict Cumberbatch be Doctor Strange for a long time to come. He's still young, so I think he still wants to do the role as long as it's exciting to him, so I think we could see it for a long time, especially if Marvel keeps putting out really good movies. I am so excited to see Multiverse of Madness. I cannot wait to see that movie. But we had a 2.0 sell for $163, and there's no previous sale data for this one. But still, that's a good price for a 2.0. That's not bad at all. We also had a 2.5 last sell in November for $120. Now it's up 171% this week, selling for $325. Woo! That one increased a lot in value. We also had a 3.5 last sell in February for $300. That's already up 20%, now going for $360. Talk about a quick buck right there. We had a 6.5 last sell in February for $613, up 14%, selling for $700. Again, a big increase in value in just a short amount of time. We also had a 7.0 last sell in February for $795. That's up 2%, now going for $807. Still, up 2%, that's still an increase in value. Not as much as the other ones, but still, it's showing that they're increasing in value. That's going to be the Hot 10 Comics list this week, everyone. Again, thank you all so much. I'm so happy to see so many of you commenting down below and letting me know your feelings and everything. I really do appreciate all of you. And again, I'm doing the giveaway, a free giveaway for this X-Men number 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister at 500 subscribers. We just passed 300, and I can't believe it. I'm so happy, and I appreciate every single one of you. So like the video, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. But until then, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. That's enough pieces. Peacing out.